Hey, what's up everyone? The Dan Sandwich here, and I am back in automation and BeamNG drive once again for like the I don't know how many times. Anyway, this video I thought I would do something a little bit different. I had this idea of what would happen if you picked the best options for everything in the car designer, but lowered the quality level as much as possible. uh, would that car be drivable? Would it be good? Would it? What would happen? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna select the best options for everything here. So starting with the chassis, we're doing carbon fiber, monocoque, carbon fiber. It's gonna be a mid longitudinal push rod suspension, but negative 15 quality. So that's what we're doing here today. We're going to be using the best options for everything, but lowering the quality as much as I can. And then I'm going to build a second car where I pick the worst options for everything, but then max out the quality. I'm going to see which car is better. So yeah, I'm building two cars today, and they're both probably going to be bad, but in different ways. So let's go on to the engine. For both cars, my thought was to do an inline six. Now, why an inline six? You might be asking, Dan. The reason is, and I don't know where I read this or found this information out. Apparently, the most efficient engine design is an inline engine, and then obviously the largest you can make an inline engine is an inline six. So we're gonna go with let's say, wait, how big can I actually make this while maintaining? Okay, this actually has a pretty big engine bay, I guess. I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of designed for like a V12. Let's go with like basically like a four. Let's do a 3.8 cylinder, a 3.8 liter inline six engine. How's that? But yeah, I mean, so I still want it to run. I still want this car to run. So I'm thinking the most efficient engine design is probably the best way to go. Dual overhead cam. I'm gonna do 5 valves per cylinder because again, we're going for the best for everything, and then negative 15 quality. So yeah, this should be interesting. Let's see, billet steel, lightweight titanium, lightweight forge, harmonic dampener, and negative 15 quality. I will go through and actually tune this engine after all of the choices are made. I'm going to keep it naturally aspirated as well, because I have a bad feeling that if I add a turbo and lower the quality that it won't run, because turbos are kind of crazy like that in this game. Direct injection per cylinder, race manifold. We're going to stick with regular unleaded fuel. So we're going to do ultimate 95 fuel. Again, I'm going to do all this tuning here in a little bit. Bypass valves, I guess no bypass valves. And then if I'm going for performance, I guess that doesn't matter. I'm going to go with no cat, no muffler, and negative 15 quality. And right off the bat, we have an engine that is not working due to reduce the RPM limit. Okay, that makes sense because obviously we're getting valve float at 5400 RPM, so we could probably tune that out. We could probably make this work. So let's go with stiffer springs. Okay, cool. So now we have an engine that works. That's good. Surprisingly, even though it's negative 15 quality, it's still gonna probably be pretty good, it looks like. So let's tune this up. Yeah, get some higher compression here. Basically, the idea is they're both going to be supercars essentially, but I want them to both be pretty good. That's actually, even though it's the lowest possible quality, because you are using the best stuff, it can still rev to 6700 RPM without causing any stress to the crank. So let's see. And that actually matches our power band pretty nicely. So it's only 265 horsepower right now, which we can definitely work with making this a little bit better. So let's get a little bit bigger exhaust. So 297 horsepower right now. Let's see. If we advance the ignition timing, we get 300 horsepower. And then we can up the compression. Up the compression even further. We're getting even more horsepower. Nothing crazy though. We're just at 30, let's say 302. We have to use a little bit higher compression now. That's fine. So 301.7, and then the power drops quickly after that. So let's lower the RPM limit a bit, because it's maxing out at 5,900 RPM. We'll leave 6,200 so we have a little bit of a red line. That might be as good as we get. Probably do a little bit more here. We increase the size of the headers. Oh, we're getting more, a little bit better performance at the end of the red line, or at the end of the rev band. So let's keep increasing this until it no longer gives us more power. So maxed out the size of the header. You can actually decrease the size of the exhaust, it looks like. Just a little bit. Intake manifold, let's see what happens if we increase the... Okay, that actually lowers the horsepower, so let's make this a little bit smaller. So that's good there. Can we increase the fuel map even further now? Is this helping? It is, okay, so a little bit higher, a little bit more fuel map, and then we can use so a little bit higher compression as well. But that's going to decrease our power a little bit, but that's fine. At least we're making power at the top of the rev band now at 6,000 RPM. So there's our engine. That didn't take that long, but yeah, this is a inline 6, lowest quality, best performance option. I could make it bigger if I wanted to. You know, what if I did put a turbo on it? What happens? Now I'm curious. It blows up. Okay, so keep it naturally aspirated. The 302 horsepower is probably going to be as good as we can get without a turbo, with the lowest quality settings and all that stuff. So honestly, not bad. Does it sound bad? What happens? I'm getting a blow-off valve sound despite their being naturally aspirated, but whatever. It sounds fine. So that's going to be the engine for this car. This is the body we chose. I think it's a good supercar body. Obviously, it's based off of the Ferrari, LaFerrari. The car is so nice they named it twice. We're going to go all-wheel drive because we want this to be a supercar. Probably overkill for the amount of horsepower we have going into this thing, but again, we're picking all the best options. Dual clutch, let's say 7-speed dual clutch. Again, probably overkill for what we need. And then electric LC, because again, we're going for all the best stuff. Lowest quality, semi-slicks, racing tires, basically. Carbon fiber wheels, -15 quality. Carbon ceramic disc brakes, 6-piston, all that fun stuff. Again, the best of the best of all this stuff, but -15 quality. Race diffuser, cooling flaps. We're going to have adjustable active aero on it, don't you worry. I just need to put a wing on here. Handmade interior? Sure. Luxury HUD, -15 quality. Electronic variable steering, ESC and launch control, advanced 20s, safety, active sports suspension, because this is a sports car. We're going to put a race preset on here and -15 quality, and it's not even that bad. Interesting. It's really not even that bad. We're getting terrible fuel economy, but it is a supercar, so that's to be expected. I think after a little bit of tuning, this thing's probably going to be fine still, which is shocking. Honestly, about the same number of yellow boardings as I normally get when I build a car. So that's interesting. I'm going to go through and fix this thing up, get it to where hopefully I don't have any more things to consider here. And then I'll just kind of like quickly give you a recap of what I did, and then I will start by building the second car, which at this rate, it'll probably be worse somehow. I don't know. Let's find out. All right, and here is this car now. I haven't done any design work on this yet. I'm gonna do all that stuff off of camera? Question mark? There's not a camera. I'm just recording. Anyway, I'll do all that when I'm not recording because it's gonna take me a while. And my computer, when I'm trying to design cars and also record it, it gives me like 4 frames per second, so it's impossible to do. So that's why I don't actually record any of my design process. But here's what we have so far. It's got 300 horsepower inline 6-cylinder engine. It weighs 3,150 pounds. Pretty good, for a modern car. That's what a lot of them are gonna end up weighing. 7-speed dual clutch. It only hits a top speed of 156 miles an hour. So it's not fast. A 5-second 0 to 60 time. I could probably fine tune that a little bit more for more sportiness if I wanted to, because I haven't really touched the gearing too much. But that's kind of what we're looking at here. The fun thing is that it only costs $62,500, which is not a small amount of money, but for a mid-engine sports car, supercar sort of thing, it's not the carbon fiber everything. That's pretty affordable. So it's definitely got some good things to it. But minus 15 quality. Honestly, I expected it to be worse. So that's our good stuff, bad quality car, as I just have it named in the meantime before I do the design. I only have these three notes here. Is that the semi-slick tire is reducing drivability. I mean, that's usually the case with semi-slick tires. Front camber setting is high, and then the rear tires have a low profile. That's fine. It's going to have a low profile. They're big wheels. I guess I probably could make the wheels a little bit smaller, but I'm not going to really mess around with any of that stuff just to get rid of these three things that don't really have a huge impact on what I'm doing here. So now that we got that done, let's go do basically the same thing, just in reverse. All right, and here is the same exact body, but we're going bad stuff, good quality. So we're going steel. What's going to be the least sporty thing we can do here? Probably a space frame, since it is the heaviest weight and lowest safety and all that stuff. So let's do space frame, steel again. I'm gonna keep the engine like the same placement and stuff like that, not to like mess it up too much more. So we're gonna stay mid longitudinal. We're going. Let's see, what's the least sporty suspension? It's solid axle leaf in the front, and then double wishbone's the only option in the rear. Can I go? What other options do I get? Yeah, let's go solid axle coil in the front, and then McPherson strut in the rear. But plus 15 quality. Another new engine here. We're going to keep it inline 6. We're going cast iron. Oh yeah, so same exact size, 3797 cc, almost a 3.8 liter. We're going push rod, cast iron, plus 15 quality. This is going to be interesting. I can already tell. Cast iron, cast, no harmonic dampening. Plus 15 quality. We're not going to do any of that stuff until later. Plus 15 quality, no VVT. Once again, naturally aspirated, but we're throwing 15 quality in there. It's going to be carbureted with a single barrel, single carbureted compact manifold. We're going low quality unleaded fuel. I might have to change that, but that's going to stay there for now. Plus 15 quality. Compact cast headers. Single exhaust. We're going to stick with, well, let's see. High flow three-way baffled and baffled. And then plus 15 quality. All right, great. So I expected this engine to be worse. And it's also not working. So the RPM limit is going to have to be extremely low. Because the crank can only handle 3,900 RPM, despite the fact that it is the highest quality crank that I can use, just because it's cast iron. Which, I don't know, it shouldn't be that bad, but whatever. We're not questioning it. We're just going to drop this RPM limit all the way down to like 4,000. Oh, man. I can already tell which car is going to be worse. All right, so let's see. So that's the RPM limit we're working with. What else can we do to make this thing better? So the carburetor is not good. So we can increase the size of the carburetor. That actually helps out substantially. We might just have to max that out. We might even be able to rev higher as well. So that's the biggest carburetor I can put on there. Does this change? Not really. It's still going to be... Still don't want to stress the crank out too much. What if I bump that up just a hair? Wonder what the highest I can do this without the game yelling at me. Yeah, so the best I can do is 4,100 RPM, which is not good. 147 horsepower right now. Let's see. Let's increase the fuel map. Let's max that out. So we could also increase compression. Oop, that doesn't really help. It's actually getting worse power. What's the highest horsepower we can get with the... We might have to make the fuel map lean. I might have to rethink what I'm doing here. Lower compression is still a little bit better. Oh, you know what? I didn't increase the springs and lifters. And let's go with... well, since the RPM limit is so low, I might actually want a lower cam profile. Yeah, did I actually lose power by doing that? I wasn't really paying that close attention. 151 horsepower. Still not great. Let's see. I can increase the exhaust and the intake manifold, and that should help things out a bit. Give us a little bit more... Actually, that gives us worse horsepower. Doesn't even really change things too much there. The headers are fine, but what if I increase the size of the headers? Is that going to give us more power? It doesn't. Let's go with smaller headers. We might be maxed out here. This might be the best we can get out of this carbureted inline 6. With everything just made out of iron. I'm sure it's going to be very heavy. So, yeah, let's see what this sounds like. Oh, the throttle response is terrible. Doesn't even really start going until... Oh, man. It's definitely quiet. There's also got a double baffled exhaust. Why is the ride height jacked up? What is happening right now? It just decided this should be an off-road vehicle, I guess. Alright. That's fine. We can fix that. Here once we get to the drivetrain stuff. We're gonna keep it all-wheel drive just to... No, let's go rear-wheel drive, I guess. Or should I keep it all-wheel drive just to keep things... I guess the all-wheel drive is technically better, but with like 160 horsepower, it doesn't really matter. We're going with an automatic 4-speed transmission. Let's see what the estimated top speed is. So it has an higher estimated top speed than the other car somehow. Don't know how that happened, but whatever. Let's increase this, I guess, all the way. Because I still want it to be able to drive. 175, whatever. 177. Open differential. Plus 15 quality. We're going cross-ply tires, y'all. Cross-ply chunky off-road tires. This is where things get way worse. I still don't know why it's jacked up like that. But we probably are going to be putting... Yeah, I mean, we probably will be putting the dumbest suspension on here too. Drum brakes, front and rear. Let's go. No under tray to speak of. No cooling flaps. The bench seat in the front. And 0 entertainment. basic interior. Manual reticulating ball. That might be the way to go. Because that would be the worst steering. No traction aids. No safety. I have to think I have to pick one. Yeah, before I can go. Zero safety. But the best quality of that no safety. We're gonna figure this. We're still gonna fine tune a little bit. Standard springs. Let's see. Twin tube dampers. And then let's say passive. I'm not gonna go stupid off like an off-road suspension for this car. That'd be stupid. This car is strong oversteer. And the brakes suffer from brake fade. And yet the quality settings are high costs. Before I do it, I'm just curious what the price of this. This is a $151,000 car. I think it's going to be worse in every way. Who knows? Like what? Like that'd be crazy if this actually ended up being a better car. But yeah, I'm going to also fine tune this one as well, and then I'll go over the two of them, and then I'll design them both and go from there. All right, and then here is the other one, and for some reason, I don't know if it's because I put the off-road tires on it, but like even before I put the off-road tires on it, it was lifted up as well. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I can't reduce the ride height. This is the lowest I can get it for some reason, but I think it just accentuates everything that's bad about this car. So yeah, it is plus 15 everything, but I think this is going to be objectively a worse car in every way. So yeah, I mean, it is actually lighter than the other one, probably because it's using less complicated stuff. I mean, it doesn't have an interior, has no safety to speak of, so it loses some weight there. Less complicated transmission, stuff like that. But yeah, it's basically worse in every single way. Test track, it can only get to 145 miles an hour, so it's slower substantially than the other car. It costs way more, so it's still $160,000, which is insane. Gas mileage about the same as the other one. So yeah, I'm gonna design both of these cars, and then I will take them out into BeamNG Drive, and I'll show you just how good or bad each of these are as compared next to each other. All right, so finished designing the good stuff, bad quality, and the bad stuff. Good quality cars. So you can see here, this is the good stuff, bad quality one. I wanted this one to look pretty good. Not really hard to do with the LaFerrari body being what it is. You know, that's a really good looking car in real life, and then, you know, when you base the car on that, you can't really go too wrong. But you know, I didn't build an interior on either one of these cars. I just wanted them, you know, for this exercise is just more about finding out, you know, if you can make a good car with -15 quality, and can you make a bad car with +15 quality. And I think we answered both of those questions. So these are like, you know, default headlights, but I think they look pretty good on this car. And then like the tail lights, you know, pretty default there as well. I got, you know, one exhaust in the middle. Well, it's a dual, you know, tip exhaust, but it's one exhaust pipe. I kind of like this like glass, like louvered kind of situation over the engine bay. You can kind of see the engine in there as well. This big wing on the back, which is probably overkill considering this only has 300 horsepower, but I think it suits the car's design pretty well. I got the single windshield wiper in the middle, very Koenigsegg style. But yeah, you know, just, you know, I think a pretty good looking car. I didn't, you know, try too hard, but you don't really have to with this body style to make a car look good. But I'll show you, it is possible to make this body look bad, as I will show you with the other car. So yeah, in keeping with the theme of making all bad decisions, this is the the +15 quality bad choices car. I got, you know, this poop brown with pink wheels design going on here. This big dumb chrome rubber bumper up front. These, you know, truck mirrors on the side. It's got 3 windshield wipers. I don't think any of them are gonna cover enough of the windshield to actually work properly. I've got this exposed hinge right there as well. This big dumb taillight across the back. Again, it's kind of hard to make this body look bad, but I think I did a good job. So yeah, this is an ugly car. I don't even know what this exhaust pipe is, but there it is. So yeah, now that I've finished designing both cars, I'm gonna take them into BeamNG Drive, and then we'll scientifically figure out which car is better out there on the track. All right, so now we are in BeamNG Drive. Let's start off with the good choices, bad quality cars. So -15 quality slider on everything, but still, carbon fiber everywhere. A magnesium engine and carbon fiber wheels. So it's like still the best version of what a car could be, just the lowest quality of each of those parts. So yeah, let's see how this thing does around the automation test track. This thing's really loud, really loud. So I'm gonna have to probably turn the game volume down a little bit while I'm doing this. All right, we're in sport mode here. Let's go see how this car does around the automation test track. It seems pretty quick, at least in terms of acceleration. Only 300 horsepower, but all-wheel drive, carbon fiber, everything, and it handles really sharp. When you got push rod suspension front and rear, I'm sure that helps out a lot. Take this hairpin here. Yeah, you can kind of just like floor it out of certain turns. It probably does help that it is only 300 horsepower, so it's not like, throwing you back in your seat and like spinning the tires and stuff like that. I don't think there's any wheel spin at all in this car either. But doesn't have a crazy high top speed. So you can see here at the end of the straightaway, we're getting up to like 135, 136 before going into that sweeping left-hand turn. So, not quite hypercar territory. I mean, I think a lot of like regular passenger cars could probably outpace this in terms of top speed, but it definitely makes up in terms of the handling department. So this is kind of like a souped up go-kart sort of thing, where it may not be the fastest top speed, but you can really throw it around turns. It's got decent acceleration out of those turns. I think just a solid car. Nice little sports car. And again, -15 quality everything. So I really don't know how much the... Oh, I just lost the front splitter. That's interesting. I don't know how much the quality sliders impact how it exports to BeamNG. But so far, like, I don't know, it drives really well. I wonder if losing that front splitter is gonna impact my handling at all. Yeah, it seems like I don't have as much, front downforce, of course. I really like how BeamNG simulates that. Like when you put a wing on a car in automation and then export it to BeamNG, it actually like affects the downforce in this game, which is pretty cool. I actually didn't look to see how that first lap time was. Oh, 216. That's not bad at all. For 300 horsepower. Alright, let's finish out this second lap. Let's see what my overall time ends up looking like. I can take it flat out through there, no problem. Again, I'm not going insanely fast for a sports car, or this would looks like a supercar. The automation said this thing would only cost like 60 something thousand dollars, which is not, you know, not an insignificant amount of money, but for like something that looks like a supercar, you know, I feel like people would be willing to pay that for something like this, even if it doesn't have quite the performance figures of what it should look like it does. Yeah, but it's really actually very fun to drive. I don't really have any complaints with this other than, you know, it could be a little bit faster, but I kind of already knew that going in, it wasn't going to be insanely fast. So, 4 minutes 31 seconds. Not at the top of my leaderboard of the cars that I've tested already, but not really that bad at all. So let's change it up. Let's go into the Brownmobile, and I already know it's gonna be a lot slower. It's gonna be a lot slower. All right, so in the bad choices machine, and I actually turned the volume back up. This is just how quiet this thing is. I mean, again, it does have 2 mufflers on it, and like 160 horsepower or something like that. It's super quiet. Like, you can barely hear it. This is not an electric car. This is just a really quiet car. So yeah, I already know this is not gonna be anywhere near as quick as the other one. I already know this is not going to be anywhere near as quick as the other one, but we have to find out exactly how much slower it is. The really lifted suspension, probably not going to help around turns. Oh man, it's got a tremendous amount of understeer. This is rear-wheel drive, by the way. It's not all-wheel drive like the other one is. It just does not handle well. And once again, this is plus 15 quality everything. I think automation said this car was like $115,000 or something like that. It's slow. It's really, really, really slow. I forgot that it redlines at like 4,200 RPM. Kind of had to like swing it around that corner there. This is definitely not a quick car by any stretch. I wonder what the speed on the straightaway I'm gonna get is. If I remember correctly, I'm using like chunky off-road tires as well, because again, the worst decisions were made here. Okay, we're actually getting up there in terms of speed, almost the same top speed on that section as the other one, and I'm gonna hit the wall a little bit. We're just gonna keep going. It's probably fine. 121, I think, was what we got up to there. So, on the straightaway, it's not actually that much slower than the other one, but like, I'm full lock right here, and it's not turning. It's taken a lot to get it around turns in this thing. Oh man, this thing is incredibly slow. Just incredibly slow. Oh, okay. What happened there? I got a little notification on the damage thing. I think something is hurt. Maybe from stepping on the brakes. Again, these are also cross-ply tires because again, the worst decisions were being made here. So yeah, I would not be surprised if I just like blew a tire here at random. Because these are the worst best quality tires you've ever seen. All right. It's so quiet too. It's so funny to me that an inline-6 engine, I think they're both the same size engine, But this is so much more quiet. Alright, 1 lap down. It was basically a 3-minute lap. 2:59.579. And it's so slow I have time to like look at my entire like lap thing and read it out as I'm driving around, because it is not demanding much from me from a driving perspective. Now again, I did almost spin out, so that's gonna slow down that lap considerably. Front right. Oh, it's the brakes that are failing because they're drum brakes. I'm getting severe brake fade. I tried as hard as I could to solve that issue in automation, but considering how small these wheels are and the fact that they're drum brakes, there's really not much I could do to really solve all of the issues this car has. Again, I'm not an expert engineer or car tuner or anything like that, but I've played a lot of automation. I feel like I know how to fix a lot of problems with cars in that game, and I just could not solve every problem this car had, just because it's the worst. It's the worst. This is what happens when you make all of the worst decisions when building a car. It doesn't matter how much money you pour into it, it's never going to be a good car. And that is definitely true here. And it's going to be hilarious taking this to the drag strip, which is what we're doing after this. We're going to take both cars to the drag strip. Oh man. Really had to... I had to handbrake turn around there because I couldn't... because the understeer was so bad. You can kind of hear the engine a little bit. Still very quiet. Alright, after 2 really slow laps, we are finally crossing the finish line here. 5 minutes, 49 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, I think we know which car is better. I think we know which car is better. I do want to take him to the drag strip, though, just because I'm curious. More to find out how quick the other one is, but I think it'll be really fun just to see how both cars fare at the drag strip. All right, we are at the West Coast USA drag strip as per usual. I'm starting off in the turd machine because I think it'd be more funny to see this thing drag race than the other one right away. So that's that. We're gonna do this one first. So we're gonna start with this one. And then we'll do the other one that's gonna be a lot faster. But I really want to see how slow this thing is on the drag strip. And we're off very slowly here. Can we get up to 100 miles an hour before the end of the quarter mile? I do not believe so. 91 is the speed we got to, and a time of 16.5. That's incredibly slow. Incredibly slow. So yeah, that's that. I knew it was gonna be slow, but dear God, that's incredibly slow. All right, so now we have seen that in action. Let's actually look at a good car now. All right, taking the good choices, bad quality car to the drag strip. This should be a lot faster. Oh, if I can. Let's go. It's still really loud. And I completely screwed up the launch there. Did get to 106 before the end there in a 13-second quarter mile time, so not very fast. I think that's still maybe the slowest car I've tested on the drag strip, other than the one we just saw go 16 seconds. So again, it's not going to be the fastest in a straight line. The test track, it did pretty well, but this is definitely one of the slower cars I've done on the drag strip. But yeah, let's smash these both up. Let's see what they do at the car jump arena. All right, car jump arena time, and I immediately lose the front splitter. That's fine. I'm gonna respawn up here. Time to find out how far this car can fly at the car jump arena. You know, this has been a lot of fun to mess around with, to see how much of a difference the quality sliders actually make. It seems like for BeamNG, they don't really matter that much. I think the engine is probably the biggest area where it matters, because if I had better quality in the engine, then it would be a faster car. But the suspension, brakes, everything else seems really, really good. So yeah, just keep that in mind next time you're designing your car in automation. Don't necessarily have to worry too much about the quality slider if you're building a car for BeamNG. But yeah, let's see how far this thing can take off of the car jump arena jump. All over the crest there. Full acceleration. I have ESC turned completely off here. And we're getting up there, dude. 163 miles an hour. And it kind of just flat goes off the jump. And we're going to be around right at 300 for this one. Smashes into the side there. So yeah, that's how far this one went off the jump. Let's get into the other one and see if that goes any further. My guess is, because of the lifted suspension, it might actually go farther the other one, even though it's not going to be as fast. But let's find out. I still can't get over how quiet this thing is. I might actually... Oh no, because if I go full speed over that crest, it'll probably throw me. I thought I might actually need the lead up there to get a decent speed off the ramp, but that's a pretty steep decline there. So let's just punch it here. No traction control to even worry about. And yeah, let's see. The other one got up to like 160 miles an hour. Let's see how fast this one goes. It's actually going to be even faster. And yeah, like I thought, because of the lifted suspension, it's going to fly a lot farther too. So about 450 or so. And there goes the other one. So, okay, I mean, this thing is not good. Oh, it like bounced off the fence there. That's kind of weird. This thing is not good at anything except for going off of the car jump arena's jump, which I think is a pretty fitting description for this car. So yeah, there you go. There's what you need to know about the difference in the quality sliders between cars and automation. I hope that this video was, if not entertaining, at least informative. But I hope it was both of those things for you. I'm not gonna post either of these mods, because I don't think either of them are exactly like good enough to encourage anyone to download them. So I'm not gonna do that for this one. But I think what I will do is for the other car, this one here. I think what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to make clones of this car and gradually increase the quality, and then see how each of those compare to this one, and see, you know, how much better this car can actually get, because I really like the way this car drives already. So I wonder what it would be like with, you know, 0 quality, or, you know, +5, or, you know, even -10, to see how much difference this makes in this car. So I'll probably end up doing that in a future video. If that's something you want to see, click the subscribe button, or comment below, or like the video, or whatever you want to do there. I'll probably still do it whether you do that or not. But yeah, I hope this was interesting to you. I had a lot of fun making this, and I will see you guys in the next video.